To make this beautiful chevron pattern, cast on a multiple of 12 stitches plus 1 stitch. If you want to give a special treatment to the side edges of your project, cast on a few extra stitches for salvages. I have 37 stitches on my needles, and there is only one pattern row that we're going to repeat over and over again in every row. Here's how it goes. Knit 1 stitch and then work the sequence of knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then make a decrease by knitting 2 stitches together. It is perfectly fine to knit these 2 stitches through the front loop as usual, but it is easier to knit these 2 stitches together through the back loop. And because this decrease won't really show in the fabric, I choose the easier way and knit these 2 stitches through the back loop. Then knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make an increase by knitting into the front and back of the next stitch. Here's how we do it. First, we insert the right needle from left to right into the stitch, as we normally do when we knit a stitch. Then make a stitch, but don't slip this one off the left needle yet. Instead, go into that same stitch with the tip of the right needle, but this time do it from right to left, like this. And make another stitch, and now we can slip the stitch off the left needle. So we just created 2 stitches out of 1. That's how we knit into the front and back of a stitch. And then we repeat the same thing. Knit 5, knit 2 together, knit 4, knit front and back. Knit 5, knit 2 together, knit 4, knit front and back. And we can do it until we get to the very end of the row. The last increase in this row, knitting front and back into the stitch, and we are done. Now turn your work and repeat exactly the same thing. Knit 1 and then work the sequence of knit 5, knit 2 together, knit 4, knit front and back. If you do it with the yarn in a solid color, then you will make a fully reversible pattern that will look the same on both sides of the work. But if you do it with several colors, as I did here, changing the colors in every 2 rows, then you will get neat zigzag stripes on one side of the work and a funkier, messy stripes on the other side of the work. Of course, the big question is, what do we do with the yarn tails that we create every 2 rows, right? There are 3 ways to approach this issue. We can weave in the tails as we normally do, just as I did over here. And if you do it at the end of the project, then it could be quite a big task, especially if the project is big and there is a lot of stripes. So I recommend doing it as you knit. And the tutorial that explains it is at 10roseday.com/weave-in. Another option is to make a secure knot, as I did over here. This knot is so strong that you can simply trim the tails and not worry about hiding them later on. This tutorial is at 10roseday.com/secure-knot. But we can also show off the tails by making fringes, just as I did over here in this swatch. To do that, leave a longer tail every time you change the color, and then when the project is done, tie these tails in bunches of 3 or 4 strands by a regular overhand knot, and then trim the tails so that they are of about the same length. To get the full tutorial about this pattern and the ways to treat the yarn tails, go to 10roseday.com/colorful-chevron. Happy knitting, my friend. I'll talk to you in the next tutorial.